Good evening. Good evening. Hello, hello, hello. We are back. The sisters and the cousin. We are back. Today is September the 10th. And listen, we're going to talk today. We are ladies that are over 50 years of age. And so we're going to talk about growing old gracefully and how do we feel that we're now, actually we're past 50, so it's 55 past. You're 50. Oh, I'm going to let them introduce us, say their name and their age, and then we're going to get into it.
I am Tammy, and I am 57. I will be 58 on the 21st.
I'm Angela, and I'm 60.
I'm Vicky, and I'm 62. I'll be 63 this year in December. Wow, I'm Regina. I'm the baby of the bunch. I'm 56. I'll be 57 in January.
Okay, so you know what? I need to remember that. Tammy is what? 50. What are you, Tammy?
Really? 57.
57. Vicky is what?
62, going on
And
63.
Regina is what?
56.
They all got to think about it. As you see that.
Denial.
Well, listen,
your moments.
we're just gonna talk about how we feel that we're now. Like me, I'm 10 years from 70, and when I think about that, I'm like, wow, because I thought when you got 60, you were really old. And now that we're 60 and
You're really old.
and 56 and 57 and 62, now we think differently. It's not like we're old, we don't feel old. And so we're going to talk about how we feel about we have more years behind us than we have in front of us, meaning our next destination is going to be death. And death, not as we know it by just saying the word death. We know that there's a expected end that God has promised us, that we're going to have we're going to join him in heaven. And so but when we look at our lives, we now have to look at, we've lived the longest part of our lives here on this earth, and then we leave here and we go to heaven. So I'm going to start off, we're going to just talk about being older. Well, if you notice, I want everybody to look around. Just look at all these girls right here. And what do you see that all three of them are different than me? I'm going to give you a hint.
Great.
I'm going to give you a hint. Okay. Now, Regina, we ain't going to add Regina into this. And she'll tell you why.
Without this, it would be great.
We're going to let Regina tell you why we're not going to add her in this. But I want to ask my sisters, which I kind of know, a lot of people they have not embraced the gray. People ask me, a lot of women ask me, why don't I dye my hair? Men love it. Men say it looks good on me, that it looks sexy on me. Well, women always tell me I need to dye my hair. A few women, no, y'all tell me it looks good on me, but a lot of women tell me, why don't you dye your hair? You look so much younger. And this is what they say to me. But you know what? I'm okay with growing old, gracefully gray. I am. I actually like it. I know I love it. And so I just want to ask the two that's sitting to my left and my right, why they keep dyeing their hair? Why they keep dyeing their hair?
I tried the gray thing, and I wish I could flip up a photo. I actually tried it, and it just washed me out. I look older, and it just really washed me out.
Mm-hmm.
Your gray looks good, and gray is
Thank
not
you.
for everybody.
Thank you.
If I look cute in it, I would rock it too. But it didn't work for me. I look like somebody's great grandma.
Same for me.
I think it looks good on them. I think they haven't mentally embraced it, because gray is a mental thing. It really is. And a lot of people, I remember a lady at our church, she kept telling me, girl, she said, I wish I was bold like you to go gray. And I one day told her, you know who I'm talking about? I told her, let it go gray, and you got to like the way you look. I said, it's almost an attitude. I said, you got to like it. And she went gray, and girl been gray for probably about 3 or 4 years since me and her talked, and she looks good in it. So I think it's mental. I really do. I think it's mental. A lot of us don't want to, we embrace being 60 and 57 and 56 and 62, but we haven't embraced all of it. Like, it's okay to be gray. Well, we'll talk to Regina and
Look, I'm gonna have black hair when I'm mad.
When she's ready for it.
As long as they
Listen.
get weaves and wigs, I'm gonna have black hair.
Listen.
Jet black.
She's gonna be named
We have a video that we've already done, and we're gonna hopefully put it on my channel soon with Regina. Regina did a video, and she's very transparent, and she talks about living with alopecia. After the thing with Jada, we decided to talk to Regina because Regina has a severe case of alopecia. That's why we can sit here and laugh. You see, my cousin was laughing. It's not we laughing at her. She's just okay with having no hair, and she wears the best wigs. Everywhere we go, people say she looks really beautiful. Her hair looks beautiful. They don't even know it's a wig. So that's why I just threw it over there to
They know
Regina.
now.
Because Regina,
Well, I would tell them it's not a secret. Like, I love this. I don't have to wake up in the morning and comb it. I wrap it and go. And it's black, jet black. If I want to be blonde, if I want to be gray, if I want to be red, I can because I buy it. Thank you, Lord. You give me money to buy hair. Won't he do it?
But I want y'all to look out for that video because she's really transparent. She talks about when she first realized that she was losing her hair, and she's a retired police officer for Las Vegas finest, and so she talks about how she had to deal with having a wig on and may have to, fight somebody, and one day her wig fell off. So you guys need to actually, when we post that video, please go and look
Fight
at it.
somebody, not just fight. She was a policeman at the time.
Yeah, yes. I said that.
Oh, did you?
She was a police officer.
Senior mamas, we're old. Right?
Well, she's the oldest, so she has so we'll give
Oh,
her
that's
grace.
true. That's true. So now that y'all know about the hair, because I always wonder why so many of us will not go gray, and a lot of them say they don't like the way they look. And I've seen
But
Vicky.
it's really not for it's not for everybody.
I've seen you with gray hair. You looks good. You look good with gray hair.
But actually, I look good anything, but I look better with the dark hair.
Okay. Go on, cousin.
But really, I look better with the dark hair.
Okay.
Right, honey?
Well, you know what I think about? There's like this stigma that goes along with gray hair, but when it comes to men, I prefer male gray hair.
Mhm.
A man,
Not
yeah.
a lady though.
Well, okay, but I'm just saying for a man.
Yeah.
But
But
even
not a lady.
No, I'm saying women, we are so hard on ourselves
We
and all
are.
of that. But
Well,
yeah,
I have a friend that says she calls herself the silver fox. She grayed probably like at 35, but she had perfectly beautiful skin and beautiful hair, and it worked. I mean, and she's completely gray at 35. She embraced it.
And I truly believe it's mental. Because everybody I talk to said, "Girl, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready." And I think it makes people feel like they're old. And that's what I think when I talk to. Yeah, some people do look older, but it's also there's stuff that you put in your hair to keep the gray looking really vibrant. The gray could look very yellow, washed out, and that's what make people look older. But if you're treating it with the right shampoo, and I think once you get that dye out, so your hair can be its natural color, and use the right shampoo, I think you will love the color.
maybe you should do a video.
I should do a video on it.
I
Yeah.
should show them.
I wish I had my phone. I would show them the photo and let them vote. Vicky, do you look better with that gray
We
hair?
can come back and do another video.
That's right. We're gonna do a video. We're gonna do that because they look.
We
Really,
can all post photos.
Yes.
You can show when you had. Well, when did you have Darcy?
I've been gray for a while. You know, when I was young, I used to ask God. I used to love to see gray, but I used to like to see it right there, right? And I used to see women and men with just a little gray right there. And I thought that was so sexy when I was young. And so I actually asked God for gray hair.
Man, won't he do it?
Right, Regina? Won't he do it?
I didn't ask him for it.
And I didn't either, obviously, right?
Vicky actually have more gray hair than I have. Patricia, my oldest sister, had more gray hair than all of us. Then Vicky, and then me. My dad grayed at a young age.
He was very handsome.
Yeah.
And it looked real good on him.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and moving on.
Okay, moving on.
To, do you remember when you were 20 years old?
Oh, do I? Yes.
Yes.
I remember.
Mhm.
In our 20s, I that was a hard year for all of us because in our 20s, well, Tammy, you were 18, but we lost the most important person in our life, our mother. And so our 20s to me was not so good. I mean, Tammy just graduated out of high school, Vicky just graduated out of college. I was a junior in college, and our mother died. My mom was 47 years old. So when we think about our childhood, it has some very hurtful moments because for my mom to die so suddenly, that was very hard. So a lot of our life with our mom, after we talked to my aunt and my cousin, they had us to see that we've blocked a lot of our we she doing this like the minister of music would say, but we've blocked a lot of our pain away, and we locked away a lot of our mom's memories because that was the way we could deal with her death. When my mom died, I'm gonna let y'all talk. When my mom died, I remember her sister used to tell me that it wasn't normal for me not to look at a picture, and for 20 years, I could not look at a picture of my mom. I could not go to the graveyard, the gravesite. I couldn't do that. And my normal didn't seem normal to people, but it helped me get through my 20s.
Okay, we gotta change the subject.
You talked about us being
Yeah, but
twins.
Okay, so let's talk about. Okay, so I get it. When because I didn't lose my father till I was in my 40s when I lost my father, so I get that. But for me, my 20s were life changing, if you will, because at 20, I felt like, hey, I'm 21, I'm legal. I was never a drinker, but I had if I wanted to drink, I could go and buy alcohol if I chose to. So 21 in my mind made me a woman, even though I was a woman way before then.
Mhm.
But 21 was like my legal, I'm grown, I do what I want. I made different decisions. What could I do this all over? I make a whole lot of different decisions. But at 20, in your 20s, man, you're invincible because you don't see fear. You don't think you're gonna get old. At 20, in your 20s, you never thought about being 50 and 60 years old. We didn't think like that. We thought we were gonna be 20 forever. And so, as age comes upon us and starts changing, the way we do things change, the way our bodies react. I mean, what I used to do at 20, it take me all night to do, now I couldn't do it.
Right.
So,
And
But-
so,
but
like
she-
for me,
When you asked the
but I'm
question
getting back to
about the 20,
right.
and I guess I'm speaking for me.
exactly.
When my mom died and I was 21, that took over my 20, me being in the age of 20
You
to
did
30.
enjoy it, yeah.
I jumped up and married somebody because my mom died. I married somebody that I really wasn't in love with. Found that out on my wedding night. So for my 20, I was trying to deal with the death of my mom,
Right.
and I told you for 20 years I didn't look at her picture. So for my 20, I wasn't thinking about a lot of stuff. I was just trying to make it. I was trying to deal with her death, and so I don't remember, like trying to find myself. I think my mom taught us how to do that when we were young. So for me, my 20s, it was really bad for me. I think I started really waking up at 30. I started like really saying, okay, God, that's probably when my spiritual level changed and I was able to deal with my mom's death. But it took us a long time. And we all made some wrong decisions once my mom died because we were so hurt from her death.
So,
Yeah,
so
because
let's-
I was in and out of a relationship, just in and out during my 20s when she passed. But when 30 came,
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
I was so depressed. When I turned 30, I was depressed. I don't know why. I guess turning 30,
Mhm.
I just wasn't ready for 30. I was
Mm.
very depressed in my 30s. But when 40 came,
Ooh-wee.
things changed.
Yeah. 30s were good for me. I had a baby so young. I was pregnant at 16. So I was a young mom. I think at 33, 34, I was a grandma. I was grandma so young. So my son started having babies so young that it just made me more really, really fast. So 30s was fine. I mean, to me, every day that God left me alive to be on this earth was a good day. My bad days, I didn't have a lot of bad days. You know, my dad, I wasn't really close to my father, but when he did pass away, did it take me for a loop? Yeah, but it wasn't like, it didn't knock me out. I had to go find myself because it didn't hit me like that because we were not close as you, obviously that way. But my 30s were amazing and my 40s was
Even more amazing.
40s
This is what I was going to say. I think anybody in your 20s, it's still years of discovery.
Yeah.
You're still, you're not long out the house and we went away to college, going from a strict family to going away to college. At that time, life's changed. And then as you became 30, I remember when I became 30, I think that was like, to me, the prime of my life in my 30s, really start working, doing things, just finding my own, just enjoying life more. And 35, I remember, like Hannah, couldn't have kids, and I always wanted to get pregnant. And lo and behold, at the age of 35, I had my, doctor said you could never have a child, and became pregnant at 35. And then to me, life just gets better and better because of experiences. And the more we grow, the more we know. And, even though I'm in my 60s, life is still great. I just move a little slower, or drive a little slower, walk in the bedroom and like, what did I come here for? Things like that. But that's all a part of growing old, and it beats alternative right now. So no matter what age we are, it's really just a number.
Yeah, but I do recall at 20 I could jump about the bed, stay out all night, and go and be wherever I need to be on time.
Go to church.
I did that at 30. I could stay out in the club all night in the club
Wake up
and bounce into Sunday school like it was nothing. Well, if I did that now, church wouldn't see me because I don't have that same endurance to get up like that. So the aches and pains over the years, I'm a whole lot slower.
Right.
My ankles hurt, this hurt, I eat this made me sick. So I think, age has really a way of showing us that I'm the boss. But how we cope with it is what's key.
Because, excuse me, cousin.
That
Yes.
was good.
Growing up, I remember my dad, when he would get up off the sofa, he made noise, and holding this and walking. And I'm like, what is wrong? He said 2 words: keep living.
Keep living.
And you don't understand. I'm thinking I'm getting around pretty good. I'm not gonna, but now I get on some, and holding backs and stuff. But it's all a part of, God's plan. We're gonna age.
The thing that I think is the most significant thing between then and now is going through the change. Going through the change. Exactly. It wasn't turn the fan on right now, just talking about it, right? So
I didn't want to get it. That was a good time to get it.
When I turned 50,
You're talking about menopause.
menopause.
If you don't understand what she said, going through the change.
When I turned 50, I had hysterectomy. So that right there threw me right into menopause. Hot flashes, weight gain, weight loss, all these different things. Even my vision changed at 50. So a lot of different things start changing with our bodies. So we're women, and we age differently from men. Thank God. But for our bodies, when we take care of ourselves, we look like we do. That's the difference.
Thank you, God.
Yeah.
But question.
And B12.
But would you guys want to go back
To what?
To what?
What age?
So which age?
30s? Do you want to go back?
No, not 20 and 30, but I would do 40
I don't,
twice.
but if we had to pick an age, it would be in my 30s. Like if something weird happened and said, okay,
Mine would be 40.
and you could go
40.
back.
Mhm.
I don't want to go back because I know what's in
If-
front of me.
of
Well, I
course.
know, but
Yeah.
if I'm just thinking now, I don't want to go back because of what I know that's in front of me. That because this is not our home, and so we're just sitting here, actually not just sitting. We're supposed to be working for the kingdom of God, and so because I know we have an expected end, and we're headed in another, a whole different realm of life. I don't want to go back.
But if you could,
Clean us answer the question.
Okay, if I could.
Play along.
Okay.
You don't want
If I
anybody.
could, I'm like Vicky. I probably would be my like 35, close to 40, because I just believe then I start being able to deal with death, and just life and situations, and my spiritual walk had moved up like about 10 levels from 20. So for me it would be 30 to 40. But we were talking about menopause too. And a lot of people want to talk about menopause, but Regina brought it up, so we got to deal with it. Because there's a lot of you going out, a lot of ladies right now maybe going through menopause, and you think you are going crazy. You think you bipolar. You think you are living in the North Pole, and one minute you're in Arizona. You just, because your body is doing some crazy stuff, it makes you wishy-washy. I started going through menopause at the age of 30. By 40, I was at the end of menopause. My cycle went off, kept going off. I just got married, thought I was pregnant, kept going, taking tests to get pregnant because I just got a new husband. And we went to the doctor, and and somebody told me, girl, you might be going through menopause. You got the symptoms. And they did a test, and the lady felt so bad. She came in and she said, y'all have kids? We said no. And then she said, well, I hate to tell you this. She said, there's 4 stages to menopause. You are at number 4. She said, that means you will not have a child. And she was so sad when she told me. And at the time, that person I was married to, we looked at each other like we were glad that I was going through menopause. But to make to understand why I went at menopause at 30, I took steroids, prednisone. Prednisone has been known to bring 20-year-olds into menopause. And so because it took me into early menopause, there was no way I was going to have a kid. And the doctors had told my mom when I had my second surgery that I probably would never be able to have kids. I don't know if it was because I've been on prednisone from the age of 13 up to that point. So I don't know if that's why they told my mom that, but they did say I would never have kids, which I never had kids, but it's okay. God prepares you for everything. And so I never had kids. But that's the reason I went into early menopause. And I remember when I was going in menopause, they would laugh at me. And guess what? I went through menopause at a young age. They're trying to deal with it at 50 and 55. And I put their age at 62, 57, 56. They're trying to deal with menopause. And it's been since 40. And I'm 60 now. They're just trying to deal with menopause.
But you stayed in menopause how long?
A long time.
A long. Did you?
I did.
I started menopause 2014. Still going through hot flashes. I was so depressed. I was so mean, irritated, angry. Didn't want to talk to nobody. Didn't want to have sex. Didn't want to do
She said
nothing.
sex. She's married.
Nothing. Still having hot flashes.
Well, you know what? I think that the alternative to the hot flashes, you guys, is this. We have them. They're normal. The doctor said 3 things are going to happen when I had the surgery, because I had a full hysterectomy. He says, you may go through mood swings. He said you could gain a whole lot of weight, you can have sexual inactivities, all these things are things that could happen. He says, but your mindset of going into this surgery is going to be a big outcome on how you come on the other side of the surgery. So going in to this, to having a hysterectomy, I knew these things. He said, decide in your mind which way you want to go, because that's what you're going to be like when you get done with the surgery. So my doctor told me that. He says, a lot of stuff is in your mind. He said, a lot of stuff's going to come natural. He said, but you have to embrace it before you get there and plan for success.
So, but what are you saying? So you're saying if you didn't have the surgery, what?
Well, he was saying that he was telling me these are the things I'm having, because he's throwing my body into menopause from the surgery.
And that's more dramatic.
It's more dramatic because it's a shocker. Like you went natural.
She's not natural.
You
Mine
okay.
was a natural.
I had surgery, so bam, I wake up.
I got you.
Yeah, I wake up and I'm in full throttle menopause. And so he was telling me that I need to figure out which way, or how I want to embrace this, because there's going to be some consequences if I don't choose the right way to go. So I'm thinking like this: if I could avoid being, I didn't want to be civil with 50 personalities. That's what I did not want to be. I said, and I did not want to lose my sexual inactivity. So I had all these things that I did not want to lose. So I could decide which way I want to go. So I had just learned to embrace. I'm going to be going through the change. I'm going to have hot flashes, and they were brutal. I remember, there was a time when I had hot flash. I'd take off my shoes and my wig all at one time. It was the craziest thing ever, because I had to cool myself off. I could feel it coming on from the inside. And I didn't care where I was, work, home, store, wherever I was. That first 6-7 months in was crazy. You see me, I had no shoes on. I be unbuttoning my shirt, trying to take off my hair. It was just trying to deal with that. I mean, feel like I was on fire. It
Yeah,
was
because I remember one time, it don't snow in Houston very, very little. I remember it had snowed and I was going through menopause and I walked outside with nothing on, no sleeves, and I just sat out there and it just
Nothing?
felt so. No, I had on some clothes. I mean, like no jacket, no. But I walked out there. That's how bad the hot flashes are. And then if you're married and you're in the bed with your husband, you throw the
There's no covering. There's no covering.
my cousin.
Just a little color.
Listen, so if there's husbands out there listening, you got to just bear with her. The hormones and everything is going really crazy. And she might be a little mean to you, but listen, that's just a change of life is happening. And you're going to love it when that cycle go off if y'all married. And you're going to love it when that happens because men love that because you ain't got to say, not today, the thing on. For the married people, only for the married. I used to be married, so I could say stuff like that. I'm not married now. But
I think you guys calls it because it's called menopause.
Right.
So
Exactly.
And we put men in pause. Exactly.
fellas.
The men are saying boo.
And I
But
remember
you-
my husband, he went before I had my surgery, he Googled all about menopause.
Okay.
He knew more about it than I did.
Good.
He was so understanding. He even told me different things, what's going on with me, He was really, really supportive.
That's good. That's good.
This reality TV. Vicky, why are you tapping me up?
Oh.
Vicky, what you trying to do?
no cool.
Look, she tapping you. Did y'all see me do it like this? Like, why are you tapping me? It's okay. It's okay. Listen. We're talking about growing old gracefully, and we're all over 55, and so we just wanna, because I know that it could be very depressing if you have not embraced this new age, because it is a new age. It comes with your eyesight gets bad, your hearing could possibly get bad.
What you say?
But you know what we have not talked about, you guys?
What?
Weight gain.
Woo!
Oh,
Another video.
We haven't talked about, because that's one of the things
That's
that,
a whole
as you
other
get older,
In menopause, it's hard to.
yes, and the pounds is that
You can't
36,
get rid of
24,
them.
36 is gone. It's all reversed.
So let's talk to the men. Men, go easy on your wife. Go easy on them when they start gaining those pounds. Come on, guys.
I say that.
My husband is really good because my weight fluctuates up and down, up and down. There's no in between.
Mine stays
And
up.
so, but I'm up a lot most of the time. And no matter how much weight I gain, unlike my dad, you say big, gain no weight there. Or sometimes I come big, you need to eat, But with my husband, he's like, I said, babe, I'm getting fat and gaining. He's really good about that. But I know when I gain weight and when I don't.
So guys, be nice to your wife because it's already hard for us to go through menopause because of the change. And I hear that you guys go through a menopause too.
It's called a midlife crisis.
It's called a midlife, but y'all go buy cars and we just trying to get over the cycle going on. But y'all go buy cars.
They put us in bankruptcy. Buying 2 cars and then convertible, gotta have a whole. They start golfing. I'm like, what happened?
And they revert back to 20 again.
20
and
again.
Not all of you guys.
Yeah, not
It's
all.
just some of you do that. Not all guys do that. So let's you make that disclaimer.
That's why you see those 80 and 90-year-old men with convertibles.
And a young girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. They walk away from us. They'll walk away
You're
from
leaving
us.
me for her?
Yeah.
She could be your daughter, but she's not. There you go.
we laugh, but some of you may be hurting because that has happened to you. We're not laughing at your situation. But you know what? I just believe sometimes if you put a little humor in what you're going through, it helps you deal with it, because it's not always going to be like that. You're going to breathe again. You're going to live again. There's going to be somebody that's going to come in and see you as who God say you are. And so don't look at your moment. Don't look at that. That is not what's going to be. And so if I did that, I would still be sitting in my house waiting on somebody to come knock on the door. No, you better go on with your life. I remember the day my husband left me, our church had planned this big 50th anniversary for my pastor, T.R. Williams. And they had planned this big thing, December 1st, 2016. And a few people knew. They said, "Are you going?" I'm like, "Yes." I couldn't see myself missing that. And you know what I did? I kept moving. I did not stop. I stayed in the choir. I kept moving. I'm tell you, you smile about it, laugh about it. You can only laugh with people like this that love you, because some people are laughing at you. And so just be careful how you share your hurt and your pain, because not everybody's for you. So you handle that differently with different people. We can laugh about it. Like we were talking about alopecia and with Regina, we can laugh about it because we love her. And that's our cousin. And so we can sit and freely talk about the pain. Like, you know, they talk about everything. Tammy can't drive, Regina can't drive. We laugh about it.
No.
They're driving this home.
Wait, hold up.
I don't know if that happened over 50.
No. Wrong answer. Regina drove for a living for 27 years.
Yeah,
Police.
tell her, Regina.
I drive.
Just because you drove for a living doesn't make you a great driver.
I ain't had no crash.
Let me tell you what it is. Let me tell you what it is.
I'm
When they're
defensive.
police, with the when they're police woman, they can break all kind of laws when they get in their car. Because if somebody's stopping, they
And
show the
she's
bag.
retired and
And
she's still driving like you're going
like
to somewhere.
this. Me and Vicky
We just
on
had a near miss.
Oh my God.
Going to get food.
Hey, it was a near miss because he passed me on the shoulder. Remember? I was doing, y'all want me to drive like grandma. You want me to drive 55? The speed limit was 65, right? So I'm driving 67.
But did y'all hear what we said? I said Regina and Tammy. Now let me tell you why Tammy drives. Tammy's husband is a cop. So she had a little bag she could pop to and say, wife of a police officer. And so she can pop that thing and they'll let her go on by. So both of them drive really fast, and me and Vicky sit in the back seat like like we're
they're just extra back there.
But since we're talking about age, I'm gonna blame them on their age. Maybe they're getting a little
likely excuse. I'm old. It's my age.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about and Vicky and I can kind of help me and Regina on how we should handle dating over 55. How do you date? And like for me, I tell everybody I don't want to be in a relationship because I see what's out there, and it's not very much out there that I've seen, but I know that God can send a man my way and it'll be what I want and everything. But for a lot of single women, when you talk to them, there is nothing out there. And so many of them, and then how do you date? This online stuff, these guys be saying some crazy stuff on that online dating. I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know how to online date. I don't. Because you know what? I'm going to ask them 3 questions and that's going to cancel everything. You touch them again?
No, I'm
And so I asked 3 questions and it really cuts out a lot of guys out of my thing. I asked them, who is God to them? Who is Jesus? And what they know about the Holy Spirit. 4. And what church you go to. What church you go to is the first one. Before I ask them anything, I said, what church? Because if they say they don't go to church, that ends my conversation. Now, sometimes I'll talk a little more and I'll ask them why, but that kind of ends my conversation because the Bible tells me clearly we need to be equally yoked. We need to have like-minded people with us, talking to us, feeding us. And so a lot of times I don't have to go any further. When I ask them what church and they tell me they don't go to church because the pastor wants a lot of money, I know that that's flesh talking because they hadn't met the Jesus that I know, because Jesus changed everything about that. You won't be sitting around talking about your pastor. You'll be talking about Jesus. So that's why I can't date anybody. And that's why I say I have the gift of being single. But
I don't.
And that's not for you.
what?
Apps, the dating app.
Yeah, it's not for me, right?
But
You're right.
you know what? I think that dating, because I date, I enjoy it, but I'm very, very picky. Can I have a man? Yeah, I can have a man, but I need a certain kind of man. And I have a lot of boundaries and things like this, and just the average Joe just ain't gonna work. And I also want the man that I'm gonna date to marry to be in love with Jesus and to know God and have a personal relationship.
That's right.
I'm not looking for the man who is still 60 years old, he's still playing a video game all day, or not the man who still want to hang out with his buddies and go to the club. I'm past. I've been there, done it. I'm not looking for that. So dating is not the easiest thing. So what I have done, I have a whole bunch of friends.
Exactly.
I'm good with them friends.
Well, I'm looking for a few more friends. So if you
Calm down.
I'm looking for some friends. So hey, if you want to be a good godly friend, then
What is that?
It's a commercial.
What is that?
what is a godly friend? Well, listen, I'll tell you what a godly friend is. If you ask me what is my favorite conversation, I'm going to tell you the things of God. If you ask me what is my favorite my favorite book, I'm going to tell you the Bible. Everything that I am now is connected with where I'm going.
Okay.
Everything I am now is connected with where I'm going.
Okay.
Because
That's good. I like that.
and so when I'm out,
connection.
when I'm looking, or even for a friend, you gotta come with me with some substance about who God is. And I don't have time to teach you about God. Now I can do like this, talking that you listen to the videos, but I ain't got time for you to be calling you on the phone and telling you about who God and Jesus and
But
all
what
that
if you
is.
met that perfect man that lacked that, but he was so interested in so
God wouldn't
willing
send him to
learn?
me. God wouldn't send him to me.
Because she
God would not send him to me.
She ain't ready for that one.
No, yeah, no,
She done
God,
done
no,
that.
yeah, I done that.
I've done that.
Listen, I don't want a man that I gotta teach him how to pray. I'm tired of that. I did that for 16 years. I don't want to teach somebody how to be godly, how to pray, how to do this. I don't want a man that I gotta beg every night to pray over us. Pray over your wife. I don't want no man. If you don't come packed with Jesus,
Watch what you're packing. Bring the hole on her. Are you something wrong with that?
I know she's not. I know she's not.
Oh my
meaning
God,
it.
I know
Well,
she
yeah.
is.
Y'all laugh.
I know. You're talking about the
Vicky,
God.
y'all laughing too.
Watch what you say. It's the way you said it.
You know, we know what you
We
said.
know what you said.
But everybody's gonna laugh
That
at
was
that.
funny. That was funny. That's what you
Oh.
Yeah, that was good.
I don't think you would say that.
Okay. So
But you know what? With dating and marriage and all of that, it comes patience. We are an impatient people.
Yeah.
And that's why so many people are hooked up with the wrong person, because we are so impatient. And when we were younger, we want to tall, good looking,
What's wrong
make
with that?
all this money.
What's wrong with that?
I
still do.
But if we see God, and I think I don't think
you have God too.
the perfect man is out there, but it's like you have to be available. You have to be, God may send something, he knows our heart's desire, but he knows himself what's best for us
Right.
better than we know.
Right.
So we may want 6'4",
I do.
drive this,
Yes.
have this,
Yes.
and go to this church.
And then
But
have
God
no
may
money.
say somebody else is better for you.
Right.
Oh.
Exactly. Because
She's
for
like-
a long time, I prayed and wanted a tall, dark man with pretty teeth, blah, blah, all of that. Nonsense. And God, of course, he had to know Jesus, of course. But for a long time, those were the things. And he sent me this 5'11", sweetest pie, loves me, loves Jesus. And he accepted me for who I am. And it was the sweetest
They over there
thing
asleep.
ever for me.
Well, I'm waiting for that sweet thing for me to come.
But sometimes women miss that sweetness.
That's true, because that's true.
Sometimes women miss that
Yes.
sweetness.
Looking for that
I'm
tall.
sure I'm
Looking
yes.
for that visual.
Okay, so he don't have to be 6'4", but golly, can you at least be
Taller than
5'2"? Yes. What is it with all the short guys that are shorter than me? Okay, so I'm 5'7.5". I don't want a man 5'5". Nope, not doing it.
Question.
Answer.
You and Ann, do you want God to send you someone you want or someone you
I
need?
need.
It's a need. It would be definitely a need.
Oh,
My cousin's struggling.
Coming to join you, Elizabeth.
She's struggling.
I'm struggling. Okay, so God will always give us what we need because our want is not really what's important to Him.
Right.
So I can say this.
But
I've let a lot of good men go
sometimes,
looking for what I wanted. I make some. I can
Come
say
back in
that.
the camera, quit running.
Oh, okay. I've let a lot of good men go because I'm so picky.
but sometimes God will sit back. Because are we talking about what we want? Who I want? He
I
will
know.
sit back and those wants will come.
I think he's doing that right
And
now.
what you say?
And that's why there are so many divorces and unhappy people because we don't wait on God. We are too anxious. The Bible says be anxious for nothing, but in everything prayer and supplication. Make your request known to God.
Right.
And so we're too anxious. You know, and people, society tells us, oh, you're getting 30, 40. Why aren't you married? What's wrong? You know, and we rush and make the wrong decisions.
Yeah.
And
And
then
until you step back
Mhm.
and allow God, but you have to tell him, God,
Ooh.
send me
Mhm.
the man that's for me, best for me, for me. Pray this prayer. Your husband will come.
Well, Lord, can you make
But
sure
see, he ain't coming. She's not ready. She's not ready.
No, I get you. You're right. 'Cause
And
you
there's
know-
nothing wrong with being specific in our prayers, you know, but blue, I mean, the whole description of this man, you may as well clone him because God's not gonna look at your schematic or your idea of this man and
True
send
that.
because he knows what you need.
Right. Because you don't
I need
even,
a strong man.
because Regina, you don't even know what you need.
Ooh,
You're not God.
That's true.
You
That's
don't
right.
know what
That's
you
right.
That's
need.
right.
you're right.
You don't
sister.
know what's ahead.
That's-
You don't know what's to come. Seriously.
Well,
That's true.
Regina,
You're right.
but Regina, that's why I know me having the gift keeps me focused on him. And because I hear his voice, if he decides to send me somebody, I know that I'm going to know it's from God. I know that because I'm so focused on him now. I'm not focused on the man. I've tried it. This
You
is my
are full. That's what you call that.
Oh,
Seriously,
okay.
you're full because you're not wanting.
yes.
You're not wanting for nothing.
Yes.
You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
You gonna preach in a little
Well,
while.
but
And
that's-
pray for this, you know, in everything. Pray for discernment.
I got that.
You know, and he'll show you. And we need to quit missing signs. You know, a lot of people, there were signs when you got married. There were signs when you were dating. And wasting time riding with people and this just for fun. Just watch this.
Alrighty then.
Okay, we're gonna talk about one more thing, and then we gotta go home because we got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning for church. So we're gonna.
You doing bedside
Tam and
Baptist?
I do, but
No, we're going to church.
Okay.
but okay. So so we're talking about us being over 50, over 55, and when we look at the world and the young women today, the young women have focused on being very fake in their who-ness. We'll start talking about the BBL, the Brazilian surgery, but that they're getting the lifts and all that stuff. Is out of control. What the young ladies are doing for the men to see them. The butts that they're taking fat out of their stomach to make their butts bigger. It's so sad to see that. because now they have become physical, which physical is flesh, and the flesh is what's taking us out. And so when we change our bodies for somebody to think we're sexy or sexual, the enemy, that's an open door to the enemy. It's an open door to so many dark things that if we look at it in the realm of discerning the enemy and what he does, and we'll talk about that. I think if you look at my video about how to know if you're demon possessed, I think you'll understand what I'm saying. Because the demons, look at the Catholic Church. The demons, sex is where they find a foothold into God's people. Look at the TV that we look at, sexual. You just see all kind of stuff now. It used to be they wouldn't show it, like Lucille Ball, and they would be in two separate beds. Now, it's what we see on TV is unbelievable. So what our young girls are looking at now is all about the flesh and how we look. The Bible says we're going to be lovers of self. This here is lovers of self. You see the girls, selfies.
We do it too.
Yeah, no, we do it too, but I'm not a lover of self. I take selfies so I can have pictures with my family. But selfies have changed the way we see ourselves. And so we didn't look so much into the mirror that we want to change it to look like a world that we think got it going on. And so now all the young girls, I've worked with a lot of them are changing their bodies to look more sexual. If they only knew what they're going to look like when they're 70. Because think about it, when everything starts dropping, when your breasts drop, your jaws drop, that booty also is going to drop that they made so firm. And then they're going to be walking around looking a mess because now you got to be 60 and 70 with this butt that you didn't think about. When I get old and I know Jesus now, and now I got this big butt and you walking in your butt, it's way out there. You're going to feel some kind of way if you're doing that now. And when you start seeing God for who he really is, it's going to be a really sad story for you. Just like the people who are putting tattoos on them. Do you know those people are trying to get tattoos off? Do you know the tattoo removal places are making so much money because when they get our age, they don't like what they see on their bodies when they're in the church and they don't like that no more. So now they're going to remove the tattoos. How are you going to remove the butt? So we need to pray about our young ladies, y'all, because it's really bad. Y'all see some of the bad butt jobs. It's so bad. And me working in a business where I see so many people, I see our young people, y'all, and it's a sad thing. Mothers, daddies, fathers, talk to your daughters. Talk to your daughters. I have a video saying, get to know yourself. We all, y'all, need to get to know ourselves. I've learned who I am, and I love who I am. But a lot of the girls who are doing that do not love who they are. I'll let them talk a little, and then we can close it out.
I think that's why. Well, society have made looking sexy is what's in, if you will. First thing you see women, they want to get a boob job, they want to get their stomach tucked and get their butt blowed up. And for some women, I get it. I've seen women who have none, or the ones who've been sick, but I've seen the extreme. There was a video floating on social media where this lady was on the beach, and it looked like she had 2 basketballs in a bra and 3 basketballs in a butt. It was the worst looking, and she was one of them. It was sick. Yeah. I'm thinking like, is that where we are now? Yeah. I mean, she's a lady that's a chick who's gonna wake up at 70 years old and she's gonna just think, what have I done with myself? Yeah. It's gonna be bad for her because them 2 basketball butts, they're gonna be down to her knees. Yeah, you know, and I don't think we don't take that in consideration at all. Age is one thing that you cannot fight is gravity. Age, you can go and lift and tuck and roll, but you're gonna be rolling a whole lot because it's a constant battle when you're dealing with age.
So I hope somebody got the message that we were sending forth as far as growing old gracefully. The reason we talked about the young people in the end is because one day you're going to be us. You're going to be 57, 60, 62, and 56. And I want you to have no regrets. I don't want you to know that you don't put all that back on you and how bad you look. And look, I work now with a senior community. This one lady said, when you get old, she said, you are your target for people to do anything to you. She said she don't go out at night because, she don't know if somebody's gonna rob her because of her gray hair. They see she's old. I thought about that. And I thought about you that are getting these really big butts. Imagine you at 70. The guys are just gonna wanna be with you just to say they did it because you got that big butt. And it may sound funny, but you gotta think about where you're going. You're not always gonna be 20 and 30. 40, you're going to get to the age we are. And so our prayer to you is stop it. Don't buy any more of that stuff. You are the apple of God's eye. He made you well. He did. And believe that. Vicki, would you like
I
that?
ain't got no comment.
Vicki? Tammy?
It just all, like she said, a lot of it is self-esteem and a lot of it is peer pressure. I see you doing it, so I'm gonna do it. And my thing is stuff just getting bigger and bigger, and the eyelashes. And let me just do this disclaimer. Whatever people want to do with their money, it's them. It's okay. But the eyelashes. I just noticed, they were normal, then they became big and humongous and bigger, and it's just, it's amazing to see, and like Regina said, it's a lot of it is society-based on billboards, on commercials. Everything is, excuse me, my allergies. Everything is glamorized and the lady in the short shorts with the pretty hair and all the bodies, and it just makes peer pressure makes people you want to do that. But I think beauty comes from within, and if you feel good about yourself, you could cover up stuff. You got a stomach, buy you a Spanx, girl.
Well,
If you light up front, get a push up, a padded bra. There's things you could buy and wear.
you can buy those
And then-
panties that got the inserts.
And then exercise. There's exercises for everything.
I don't know. You know what I really feel? I feel to each his own. But one day you're gonna wake up and make a whole lot of things like, what did I do that for? I remember I wanted to get a boob job. I was 30. And I went in 35, and they were like, nope. A good doctor will know your family history. My grandma had died from cancer. My aunt, my cousin, breast cancer. So the doctor tells me, he says, oh, yeah, you know what? You're not even, I would never even consider, I would never touch you. And you should never let anybody touch you. She says, if you haven't had cancer by now, you better just pray and hope you don't. You go and start cutting on yourself, you'll never know. So he says, you're not a candidate offer for breast implant. So I didn't do it because I listened to that doctor and he told me no. And I'm grateful he did say no, because God knows that down the line, who knows? Because I'm exposing myself and leaving myself open for all these things that happen. And then I remember being in office, there was a girl who then had got a breast job, and she had 4 breasts. Her breast she got a bad boob job, and they separated. And she had 4 breasts on her chest. And I remember being in office and looking, and I just couldn't believe it. I'm thinking, like, how in the world she had got a boob job in a hotel? The doctor had came in and gave all these girls these boob jobs, and it had separated, and she had 2 boobs on top and 2 boobs on the bottom.
And that's the worst thing, because a lot of people, a credible doctor a lot of times won't do certain things.
Right.
And that's why a lot of people go across the border or go somewhere and get things cheaper. Because a lot of doctors will turn you down, you know.
Yeah.
And for me, I remember growing up and my feet, I hated my feet. I had hammer toes. And I really hated my feet. I would not wear sandals. You couldn't see my toes. God told me, well, I made your feet.
That's right.
And I started loving my feet. And I don't care what people say about my feet. I wear sandals. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made.
That's right.
Amen.
And you have
So
to
good.
accept that.
That's
That's
right.
who you are. That's who God made you. So you don't need to add anything. You don't need to take away anything. God made you.
But Tamara just closed us out, y'all. Listen, thank you guys for watching our videos. Thank you so very much. Comment. We want to hear from you, especially if you're over 55, over 50, and how you feel growing old gracefully. Have you embraced it? So we want to hear from you. Please comment and let us know. Again, I thank you. I want you to please subscribe to my channel. It's our channel. I always say my channel, but God.
Can they post a photo on YouTube? Are you able to do that?
You know what? I don't
Can
know.
you guys? If you can put your photo in, if you're proud
Yeah, I'm
of
not
your
sure. I have
age.
not seen that, but I'll
don't
research that. But if you can do that, because you, like she said, be proud of your age. I'm happy to be 60.
Me too.
I am. I'm.
Because
I
some
feel
people, they said, "Oh, I got a birthday. How old are you?"
they won't tell you.
I'm gonna always say,
Me
because
too.
it'd be so
I am just
hurtful.
happy. You know, my mom died at 47. Can you imagine my mom died at 47 and we're all 60 or something? At 47, you're still almost like a baby. Not a baby, but think about it. We're 60, she died at 47. And so I am happy to be here. I am. And you should be too. So we got to go. What?
Glad I was awake. I would have been scared.
Listen, again, I need you to subscribe to our channel.
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend, hit the button right there. And look, I'm gonna do it real smooth because I don't have my mouse. Hit the button right there. While I'm hitting the button right there, I'm gonna turn us off. But bye, you guys. Thank y'all so very much. I love each and every one of you. God bless you guys. Bye. Bye. Bye.